Good Thursday morning. And I'm thrilled that you tuned back in because we're talking about, to me, one of the most important things we can talk about, and that is how to help wisely our kids and grandkids find Jesus so that they can be in heaven with us. I enjoy my time with my grandkids right now immensely, but boy, I want to be in heaven with them. It's not enough just to watch them play soccer. I want to play with them again in heaven when I have a renewed body and I can be competitive with them. I can't be right now. We're going to continue our discussion of tips on how we can be intentional Christian grandparents. With that in mind, let me talk about just a couple of things that I find very, very helpful. And one right off, which is why I put this rainbow up behind me. Talk about God naturally. To get that? Talk about God naturally. In your conversation with them, be sure to remember to bring the Lord into it. And certainly, whenever you see a rainbow, that is like God saying, talk about me right now. Come on. I put this in the sky for you. And it's to be a reminder. You do know, right, where the rainbow came from? When Noah came out of the ark, Noah and his family, God put a rainbow in the sky. That's when God invented rainbows. And it's to be a reminder that he'll never bring another worldwide flood. He'll never destroy the earth in that way. So, what an easy thing it is to bring up and make sure your children, grandchildren, great grandchildren know why God put a rainbow in the sky. Wow. And it's so easy to say, do you know why? Do you know why? And maybe initially they'll say no, but then they'll say later on, yes, Grandma, I know why. I know why. Because God put it and it's a sign to Noah. Wow. That would be blood. But this is just my example. You can do it just in normal conversation, such as, hey, granddaughter, do you know this week I had two answers to prayer and I'm praying. Can I share those with you? And who's going to say no to that? You saw God answer prayer. And we talked about yesterday, be sure to ask them how I can pray for you this week. And when God answers that prayer, be sure to remind them it was God answering our prayers. Just to make God a part of conversation. You see beautiful flowers or trees, whatever. It's so easy to say, wow. Or sunsets. Wow. Isn't God's artistry amazing? How can he think of a different sunset every night? That's one. But however you do it, however he leads you, pray and ask him how you can bring him up to your grandchildren. Now, let me give you another way that I hope you've thought of. You probably have actually, but I encourage you. Here it is. Use your money to help bring the Lord to them. Use your money wisely when it comes to your grandkids. We love to buy them anything that they want. And toys, they shout with glee. But what about having a Christian book in there for the young ones? How about buying their first Bible? How about not sparing money when it comes to your grandkids in a spirit in the God spiritual realm. Let me get now my older ones. Well, the younger ones, I it's like I just said, Bibles or whatever. Uh, but as they get older, how about sending them to Christian camp? What a blessing is, right? Or if you're able to help them go to Christian school, and if the parents are up for that, but maybe the parents are up for that, but they can't afford it. And maybe you can't either. I don't know. But maybe you can. And if you can, what better investment is there than investing in the Christian education of those who will follow you and maybe join you in heaven one day? There is no better investment. Just a couple of days ago, well, two things. Just a couple of days ago, I got a text from my granddaughter, and she's sharing that she's hoping to be able to go to summer camp with her church, and I hope she can too. So we're gonna see her on Sunday. So we just said, well, we'll talk about it then. And because I need to know the needs, but we're gonna try our best. Maybe others can help too, but we know how the Lord uses summer camp for anybody. A week long of concentrating on things of the Lord is great for anybody, but for teens, when most decisions are made to follow Him, there's no cost. I mean, there's nothing too much. Now, my granddaughter's already committed to Christ, but it'll help her grow in her faith. I just know it will. So to use our money, but here's a unique thing that was the Lord laid on my heart, and I feel so good about it. If you're a regular watcher of Inspiration for Today, then you know that in the last 4 weeks, uh, we had a series on the attributes of God. And to me, that's the most important series that I've done in the 8 years here on the show. And it's so important that people know that each one of us know all the things that God has revealed about himself and be able to remember them. And that's how we laid it out in that series. Well, to me, that's life-changing. So I've made a deal with both my teen grandkids that if they'll watch each one of those shows, there's only 20 and they're only 10 minutes long, that it's like a little summer job. And I've offered to give them $100 each, which is basically $5 a show to watch a 10-minute show. And both are trying to earn money this summer, so they both accepted the challenge. And you say, will you pay your grandkids to be exposed to the Bible truths in that series? Yes, I would. I encourage you, if you haven't watched that series on the attributes of God, please do it. And then maybe you'll want to share it with your grandkids too. But of course, it's valuable for anyone. So all they have to do is be able to tell me, memorize, and we have a key for memorizing it in that series. But if they can just repeat those 18 attributes back to me, they get their $100. Friends, that's the best $100 I will have ever spent. I ever spent. Use your money wisely and to cause fruit in your grandkids. Oh, that excites me just to think about the ramifications of this show if you'll apply it. Wow. Change lives. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll finish our discussion tomorrow. I can't wait. See you then.